We are back with Peak Pines. Let's see how far we can get this time. Didn't we just see this one? Oh, it didn't take it all the way. Alright, let's...
Ignoring his... She smoked the torch.
I guess it didn't save since I didn't select a chapter. Which means we get to see everybody freeze again!
Grant her attempt unfl- There was her that is what and so in attack the ad. Well, on the now.
Oops. No. Shit. Too fast.
And it was all falling the tear. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
Okay, for now, we're done with this side until we have something new. So, let's go back this way and continue with flight.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, jerks. Fine, we know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels.
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice.
Wait, what?
Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across the snowy terrain.
This would be underground. That was actually pretty badass. I think we lost them. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Okay, so now we're here. Luca, where are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. I thought this place was underground. If it's nearby, then I know nobody found it except for those Perennial guys, who else?
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like it. I've never seen one like it. Uh-oh. What's the readout? Sitting just at 258 Kelvin. That's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kern? Nah, still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sets to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. So we're gonna get an explanation for why this place looks like Beacon Pines frozen over. What's all this? Hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out letters under these. What town could this even be? It couldn't be another town this deep into Weekwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. Chuck stuff at first, and ask questions second. Okay, chuck what? Oh. Da-da-da-da.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before. It was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're going to get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Yeah, this looks...
The fencing glistened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
Looks like the stuff they put up around Weekwood. The stuff we put up? I don't know. This stuff looks familiar to you? It looks like the barrel near the puddle I, shoved me into, yeah. Please, you don't have to remind me, man. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep moving. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic hangatomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. The town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
The way the snow covered everything over, it's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. It sort of rose up back there. Maybe I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Man, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You did it, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course! Jeez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rollo are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and even she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. She ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh, it must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad. Aww.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. "Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this." The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. "It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you?" Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. "Remember what?" The doppelganger pointed to the couch. "The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us." Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. "That's not true. He didn't abandon us." The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. "Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Let me show you." The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went." He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere. Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me!
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. You were asleep minding your own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. So you think you're better than me, you?
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-headed, scarfy-necked, furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great. How about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat. Nat, it's probably Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait. Do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are? You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You're gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Alright, that does it. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weekwood. Or we teleported to some alternate universe. Or this is all just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original, true Beacon Pines. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplication. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, we can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, a revulsion even. The brain is a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could.
He looked down at his feet. His eyes darted back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this is really home...
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weekwood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to Perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know. Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard, a headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. But you've been here, alone, in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. They ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do?
There was no reply, just snow-covered silence.
Oh, hey! We're not at the end yet. I think we got plenty more game to go. Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
We gotta hide. $259K. Fall off distance still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who love them will never know the truth. The truth is overrated.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey, don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah, come on. It's almost lunchtime. Weirdo. Here, I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on graves. Well, one of them was.
Lucas stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some advice.
Iggy gave Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey! Who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow, crying like some pushover? Who you helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you, acting like a horse's ass, I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah! Her and his merry little band of clipboards pulled out this switcheroo for a reason, right? Nat mentioned something about a source. So, we learned that Perennial Harvest is making some kind of substance that accelerates age. In one route it hit Iggy, and now part of his face is older. In a different route, we found out that something at the end during the festival turns the whole town into ice. We found where that happens, and Grant is involved somehow. And right now we're finding out that there's another Beacon Pines, the original.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to Perennial Harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. And what if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad. I promise. Let's do this. Basically, this whole game has alternate timelines, and like, it can get awful cold out there in those woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rollo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Oh, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings. Screw that guy. So, I guess depending on how we approach things, we'll be seeing what would happen if things took a different turn, and whether or not this will lead to the end of the world, or not the end of the world, the end of the town. Because everything so far, everyone dies to snow, or like a flash freeze. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? long story. So a few years back, I came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. So why did you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rollo were doing chores at Rollo's chicken coop. And you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop? I prefer to think of it as an incendiary redecoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the looks on your faces. Rollo got grounded for months, which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried them under that tree. But when I came back for them later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found them and tossed them.
Iggy triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who is in way over his head. A hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotten children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are! Prepare for blast-off, loser. So yeah. Down there... It's like crooked. Just like this whole stinking place. I knew it! We would find something. But yeah, in one of the loops, or one of the timelines, Graham, who I guess knew about stuff, tossed the torch down there and then a flash freeze happens. Every time it hits to that point. Not every ending causes it, but like, if we get far enough in, it'll happen. So I think that's what's gonna happen here!
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo, 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 echo. Whoa. I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town now. But why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's a dang hole? How do we smash a hole? Phrasing. Oh. Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Kerr! Where's Rollo? I wasn't lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two at least. Drat, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all this? Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source, where they collect the unrefined...
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. The fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh, heavens no. My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various... complications. Complications like us. You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
He is a hyena. It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seems like you were destined to be a creepy lackey. The point is that we all play our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in the role of a lifetime. And you happen to be extras, ready for your curtain call. We aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile's not gonna be so winning after we're done with you. Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change. There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't.
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop! Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you, regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I'm an exceptional liar. That's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool! Call out your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. What, like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Oh no! You idiot! Ooh. Whoa.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca.
Oh.
Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child! What have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use that walkie-talkie to call them back. Ow. What channel do I use? It doesn't make a damn difference. They're always listening. You do that, the clipboard will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you can get out of this is if Kerr's out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he goes, then we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look in your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfish and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? How now you know I can still play 25? You should have heard me sing the part of This Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Wow, can you believe this guy?
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kerr, just let go. No can do. You want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. Two birds with one stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in paths.
A calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once. As tempting as it is, I feel like either way something bad is gonna happen.
Luca had no
Alright,
choice but to accept
We might as well
Iggy's
do them
request.
both. But first, we accept.
With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Not what I expected. Last time something fiery went down. Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Okay, that was not what happened last time. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy's must have just been the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before Perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempest liquamine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself, but doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side effect of this property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the firework made the whole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case. Well, yeah, we'd all die.
We have some idea what that would look like.
It will take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn. You are going to save the world. Huh? Hello, Big
With
Jack.
a chuckle, Nat
Bones.
turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold.
Seriously?
Second time's a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good?
It's doing fine. We got to another ending that didn't end with everyone dying, but we lost someone.
I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
I'm guessing we're trying to make this a happy ending for all, but we might as well see what the other choice gives us.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He
good.
tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end.
Okay, I figured this would happen.
I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
Yeah, that clears out this route. I'm currently, I finished one video. Again, it's currently waiting to go up to Patreon. I'll be taking a break on the last week of this month. I'm hoping to do some scripting. Hoping to script the next review tomorrow on my day off. Although Thanksgiving is also happening, but we'll see. Alright, let's see what Tickle does. We already saw... We bailed out before we started the chapter, so get through.
Chapter 4. The best. Luca paused for a moment, catching his breath. He'd only just met Beck, and somehow he already managed to drag her into this mess. Hopefully he could make it up to her. But finding Rollo was his primary concern.
So in this round, the stuff would actually have... Some of the stuff splashed on the back, and it only changed part of her hair old. Oh. Luca, what the hell are you doing out here? And why did the kid with gray hair just run past us in a panic?
Roxy and Fitz looked drained. It was clear they'd spent all day searching.
That's Beck. I don't care who she is. What happened? We were just helping look for Rollo. Luca, I need you to start telling me the truth.
Roxy's temper could often be dismissed as the impatience of an older sibling. But this was the most intense Luca had ever seen her. Her eyes were wild and unfocused, looking straight through Luca.
We're running out of time.
In a torrent of rambled words and tears, Luca broke down.
Rollo and I weren't just playing in Weepwood yesterday. We were investigating lights at the old Valentine warehouse. But someone was there in a strange suit. And we hid in the dumpster and had a heavy bag dropped on us. And I think it was a body. So we ran, but we got split up. And I ran home. And it's all my fault. And now my best friend may never come back. Wow. Just wow.
Roxy, still exhausted and angry, softened briefly as her eyes hunted the ground in thought. With a determined sigh, she looked up at Luca.
It's not your fault, Luca. Rollo's gonna be okay, I promise.
Roxy drew herself up.
I'm gonna fix this. Luca, go home. But I want to help. This is too dangerous for a kid. I can't just sit around. I have to do something.
Roxy tried to think of the safest place to send Luca.
You go back to that little tree house you two like to play in. Wait there in case Rollo shows up. Sound like a plan?
Luca wiped his cheeks and gave a quick nod.
You did the right thing telling me the truth. Now scoot. You really believe this story? What other option do we have? Things have been strange around here, leading up to the festival. My dad's has been acting weird lately. Oh, so you're related to Tolliver. Well, weirder than normal.
Looking into the puddle, Roxy rubbed her arms to warm up.
Why is it so cold here? This place gives me the willies.
Mr. Nuncreed jumped with a start.
Oh, shoot. Whoa, don't sneak up on an old fellow like that. Sorry. Who were you talking... who were you talking to? What?
Luca motioned to the phone booth.
Oh, no. I was just checking because I thought I heard it ring. But the dang thing never does, of course. Yeah, I've never seen anyone use it, really. The whole thing's a waste of money, if you ask me. Any word from Rollo yet? Not yet. Long time for a boy to lose his way. Rollo knows those woods too well to get lost. I suppose you're right. Silly boy's antics have this whole town worried sick. Antics? We all know Rollo likes to play his little pranks. You think this is a prank? What other possible explanation could there be? He's not playing a prank and he didn't get lost. Someone took him. I know it. How would you know that? Unless... Luca, is there something else that you know?
Mr. Nuncreed gently placed one of his substantial hands on Luca's shoulder.
Dang it, boy, if there's something you know, something that could help your friend, you need to tell folks.
Luca peered up at Mr. Nuncreed. Kind eyes warmed a stern face. There was a deeper emotion hiding beneath it all. It was subtle, but Luca could sense something eating away at him.
Shame! We must shame him!
There was a shame lurking behind those eyes. A deep sadness. If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried about Rollo, maybe he could help.
I know where this is going. Yesterday, Rollo and I were messing around at the old Valentine warehouse.
Mr. Nuncreed raised an eyebrow.
Both of you? You were with Rollo when he went missing? Not exactly. I was hiding in the dumpster. The dumpster? What were you doing in there? At first we were just looking around, and then someone in a strange yellow suit came and dumped something on us. We both got scared and ran. That was the last I saw of him. Got scared by some garbage? Well, that's why you don't go skulking in someone's dumpster. But it wasn't garbage. I think it was a body. I'm sure it was just some trash. No, there was a name tag. It said Deep Engineering.
Mr. Nuncreed's shoulders slumped.
I wish you wouldn't have said that.
A deep sigh bellowed from his chest.
Why did you have to? I tried, Luca. God knows I tried to keep you safe.
Luca attempted to take a step back, but Nuncreed's hand clamped down on his shoulder.
You Van Horns just can't help yourselves, can you? We were all so close to being done with this.
With a firm shove, Nuncreed manhandled Luca into the phone booth.
What are you doing? It's out of my hands now.
The door latched shut with a mechanical hiss.
Shit. So that would have been the first clue that he was the man in the suit.
As Luca pounded the glass, the floor dropped from under his feet. The inside of the phone booth was now a loose capsule plummeting at gravity's whim. Luca winced and pressed his hands to the walls. As he braced for impact, the capsule hurried to a surprisingly smooth stop. He felt a cold rush of air and opened his eyes with hesitance. Two large figures in hazmat suits occluded his view. Luca heard the deep, resigned voice of Mr. Nuncreed over an intercom. He knows too much. The end.
So in another timeline, we actually went down here and saw that there were tubes leading to, well, one of them to the frozen town and other places too.
Wait. No. This isn't the end. I know there's still much more. Somehow this went wrong. Okay, let's try something else.
I mean, I'm kind of out of options. Let's keep going down. Oh, here we go. Back to the left. And so here we're back with the part where we have to stop Gran from dropping the torch.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note. Luca lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? The only people who call me that are my mom, my dad, and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother.
So you were affected by that stuff too?
Only smaller, older, changed.
That's right, buckaroo.
Luca sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were gone. You should have known I would never have abandoned my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? You tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. The more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until Perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. They don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then, what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now. There's a better way to stop Perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. So, no more flash freezing. You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago, Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under Perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them. Every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room. eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
And that is what change is all about. On one of the endings, we're hearing this guy talk, and then we all die. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. And I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret, and Perennial Harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the fall harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. And while they had us evacuated, Mrs. Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to... You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please. Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Now, aren't you just as sneaky as the Dickens? We all knew the Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. And now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two tiny clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is... That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. Ah, the tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side. Like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I just noticed... Oh, there's Luca. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party. Alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your failures are yours to bear. Luca, any input? Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. You have done quality work for me, William. We can look forward to the recompense we agreed upon.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Found them. You are most gracious. Oh.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine. Oh,
His
shoot!
body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Wait. So, how did he turn into a
A
child?
hushed horror gripped the crowd.
How
This
did you turn?
is a story about change.
What? No! So you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Okay, but now that we set the mood, Mr. Cook, will you dear and reveal the sign? Wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard! Malice. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Everyone just bolt tackles him. Don't worry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr?
William Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward! Does anyone else have something to contribute? We can all surround you and kick your ass! I don't think this is gonna be an issue.
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
Cowards! I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? Town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You clearly lost without me. That leads me nicely to my children. Daddy, I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But Silence, Augustus. An adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse. A son who is completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Paris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? How did you make yourself young? But what about... It's alright, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where is Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense. The people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You've always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter. Cheer up! You are about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already fittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I am willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of Perennial Harvest? Huh. You think that puffed up blatherskite could have accomplished all of this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, It almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow. You've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, thespian extraordinaire, at your service. Founder, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. It was truly the role of a lifetime. Wait, so this Bill Kerr was a Pat C the whole time? Now that your secret is out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you? Again, he's only one guy. Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Huh, the young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you. You can't do this. Oh, but I can. I have won. Never underestimate what a great man can do, given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought, but well worth it. Ha!
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end. This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
Well, we got a new charm, but where would it go? Ah, here we go. Now we're going up the middle.
There was a malice lurking behind those eyes, like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncreed's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just want this to all be over. Of course, I'm sure it will work out soon enough. I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check for Rollo at the treehouse.
Luca twisted free of Nuncreed's grasp.
Of course. Luca, you know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all. Probably nothing here right now. Oh, you too. These festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now, if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree, this is more than a little sad. It's worse than sad. It's boring. What if we did a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It would be a shame if someone...
The two scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
And we're gonna do nothing about it, because he doesn't know. He looked down and muttered in a gruff voice. Mama always told me my problems would look smaller once I grew up. But my problems always seem to grow right alongside, right along with me. Heavens, I sense big trouble ahead. He's got nothing to say. Okay, I feel better now. Let's go. I wonder if we can finish the fishing part now. Oh. Identify yourself, please. Nelly Modwell. I work here now. I am unable to locate you on our staff roll. Oh, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Cuss said I could come in early tonight to get a few things done. Hold, please. Clearance authorized. Thank you. Our harvest awaits. Oh, Geoff. Well, you could get a wrench to the noggin sneaking up on a guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junking on Sonny. Evening, Geoff. Isn't it kind of late to be junking? Man, word tonight. I might as well ask the same thing of you. Find anything good? Nah, ever since Perennial Harvest moved in, even the junk is trash. You can learn a lot about a person by looking at what they throw away. In this bunch, it's all shredded paper and coffee cups. Well, I'd better get going. I didn't see nothing if you didn't see nothing. See what? Exactly. You got nothing. He's still there. You got nothing. Let's go fishing. Crooked.
Luca tied a bent nail onto the line. If all you have is a hammer...
See what we get this time. It's a ticket. It's a photo of you and Uncle Joseph. Let me see that. Huh, look at those two young fools. How did it end up in the bottom of the pond? Who can say? Some things are just hard to explain. I miss Uncle Joseph. How come he doesn't come fishing with us anymore? He's busy with his new job at Valentine's. What's a new job got to do with him fishing with us? It's complicated. Like I said, some things are hard to explain. Well, that's quite a haul. Feels like a good time to pack up. Aw, just a little bit longer. If things lasted forever, they might not feel as special, huh? I guess. I'll make you a deal, Buckaroo. If you ever feel like you need to talk about anything at all, you just say, "Let's go fishing," and I'll know what you mean. Like a secret password? Yep, top secret. Neat. Feel like that might be important later. We'll find out in time. Rollo?
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rollo! Rollo, wherever you are, I hope you're okay. I'm also noticing the coat that's in the corner. The one that Iggy used.
Luca felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag. He conceded to its lumpy embrace. Once again, Luca found himself in a vast black expanse. This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire, the source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket, a keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, Buckaroo." Luca turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together. Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait? For what? Another voice spoke out as Luca's doppelganger stepped forward. That's up to you. Without knowing why, Luca began to weep. Is any of this real? Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me. Luca turned to look at the older version of himself. And you? The doppelganger choked back tears. I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone. Does that make sense? Through his tears, Luca laughed. I think so. His father pulled him in for an embrace. Time to go, buckaroo. Luca was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in there?
A commanding voice rumbled from below. Just as Luca sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open. Chapter 5. Dangers Big and Small. Luca stumbled back. He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luca froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
What the? Stop right there! Or I'll... Jeez, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you'd recognize me. Who are you?
The large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
Stop now or I'll clobber you with a baseball bat. Whoa, take it easy. Luca, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rollo. Nice try, but I know you aren't Rollo. Even though you look like the same species of cat. You're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is he? Uncle? Luca, quit messing around. It's me. If it really is you, prove it. Flaming chicken coop, Luca.
Luca's jaw dropped. He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him. Something about him was undeniably Rollo, only bigger, changed.
How? What happened to you? When I was running away, I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. What? Where did they take you? Don't know. They threw a bag over my head. It was cold and smelled like a swimming pool. I think it was an underground lab or something. They made my hands all big. Look!
Rollo proudly presented his hands to Luca.
Pretty sweet, right? I mean, it wouldn't be my first pick for a superpower. But beggars can't be choosers. Rollo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet too? Dang, Paul just made me new shoes. Wait, Luca, why are you so small? You just now noticed?
Luca moved to the side and pointed Rollo to his reflection in the balcony window.
What the?
His hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rollo, what did they do to you? They made me drink some sort of green crud. Ew. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It kind of tasted like licorice. Oh, wait. Sharper had licorice from Nuncreed's store. But does that stuff make him younger then? Could we somehow fix this? I passed out and woke up like this. And then I sorta smashed open my cage and escaped. Whoa, you smashed open a cage? Kinda. At least I think I did. It's all a bit of a blur. They had you in a cage. Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we're gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome! Well, I'm just glad you're safe now. Luca, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at it this way. I got snatched. I know where snatched people go. We may finally have a lead on what happened to your family. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger, huh?
Rollo shadowboxed a few jabs.
I'll take them all on. Hey fellas, what's up? And now she dyed her hair blue.
With a yelp, Rollo dove behind Luca.
Take cover! Did I come on a bad time? Who the heck are you? This is Beck. Sorry, something truly bizarre just happened and I need help. I didn't know where else to go. So, you're just hanging out with your large adult friend? No, this is my buddy Rollo. This is your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I'll have you know this is a recent development. What the heck does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry. You're the one who just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How did you find us? Your silly little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. I hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret. And I can hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luca, this is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rollo. Beck, you said something bizarre happened? Yeah, but...
She shot a nervous glance at Rollo.
Anything you can say around me, you can say around Rollo. This has been a weird day all around, hasn't it? Yep.
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when I made it back home. My first order of business was to try and salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from the chemistry set my mom gave me. Okay, just need to play it cool and hope no one notices. Notice what? Oh, nothing. I was just... Come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what in the world did you dye your hair? What in the world did you do to your hair? I just kind of felt like a change. This is gonna take forever to grow out. You're the one who said that change was a good thing, right? I was talking about your mother's new job. I was talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to heart.
Ilona tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came up here to tell you that Nelly had to go into work. Tonight? Her and Mr. Kerr decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. That Kerr guy seems like a grade A creep. Beck! He is! He and his weird cult of personality. You were not going to ruin this job for Nelly. I don't know, in another timeline you seemed upset. It means too much to her. Oh, I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough to her to exile her daughter to this podunk town? This place sucks. The people are weird. You just don't know them yet. It's always cold. We're in the mountains. You'll get used to it. I can't even pick up a single decent station on the radio. It's all banjo music and farm reports. You know I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants than people? Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning, I'll have Nelly come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You need to look presentable for the festival. But not another piece.
She sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey. But that doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. Other people seem to have that covered for me. Oh, and if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair more...
She flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I'll just shave it off for you. Think of how rebellious you'll look then. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need help because you got grounded? No. I'm sorry you got in trouble. It's my fault your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it. I actually kind of like this look. I mean, you use it for the cover. Great. Can we get back to the story now? This next part is the important bit. I have this radio I upgraded with my mom, and I was too angry to sleep. So I tried to dial in something worth listening to. Mr. Kerr, are you there? That's probably Nuncreed. Mr. Kerr? Yes, I'm busy. What is it? Apologies, I have the founder on the line. Patch him through immediately. One moment. Hello, sir. So nice to hear from you. Skip the pleasantries. What's your report on our new lead researcher of deep engineering? Nelly Maldwell seems to be integrated nicely. At this very moment, she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had the chance to suggest it. Excellent. And you have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor? Her work must be completed before the festival. I will make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished. Good. You know how I feel about loose ends. Yes, sir. Once she has finished the work, we need to make a determination regarding her long-term prospects in the company. Immediately, sir? I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold. We are in the endgame, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Prescott, I can't afford to take any risks. Of course, sir. No loose ends, sir. Once she finishes the work, she will either leave the company, she will either leave the office completely committed to Perennial Harvest, or she won't leave at all. Perfect. Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay just for a bit. Oh? It's just, we seem to be rushing to hit this festival deadline, and rushing into things has caused some issues in the past. I see. Please understand that I just want what's best for you. I'm eternally grateful for all that you've done for me. Bill, I'll make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly, not to have opinions. Of course, sir. Chin up, Bill. You are only a few days away from having everything you ever dreamed of. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Whoa. Yeah. So just so we're clear, when they said loose ends, they were talking about murder, right? Like, actually killing someone? Capital murder.
Luca gave Rollo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who is this founder? I was hoping you guys would know. Nah, as far as we know, Kerr is the top banana at Perennial Harvest. He sounded scared of this founder guy. So we have an even topper banana on the field. What the hell is my mom caught up in? Has she talked about the job much? Not really. She said she was going to come in and continue the work of someone she respected. Luca, do you think that body at the warehouse was the person Beck's mom came to replace? That would make sense. Beck, it seems like Nelly's predecessor got, loose-ended. I'm getting that impression. Okay, so we need to get your mom out of there before the festival happens. That's 2 days away. Won't she just come home after work? The creep on the radio said they were gonna hold her there until then. So if she's not coming out, we gotta go in and get her.
Beck flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this'll help. You have blueprints? Well, it's really just a welcome map from my mom's PH orientation day. But it shows the layout. Sure looks like blueprints to me. Look, there's the reception area, there's a big room marked Founder's Office. It even has the exits marked. Guys. We have a deadline. We have an objective. We have blueprints. You realize what this is, right?
Rollo started to wiggle with excitement.
I think we're heisting. This is officially a heist.
Chapter 6. The Heist. They spent the night's end huddled around that small map, formulating a plan to infiltrate the headquarters of Perennial Harvest. It would be no small feat. A modern facility equipped with all manner of technology, not to mention the swarm of clipboards that would most certainly be scattered throughout. By the time the sun began to peek through the car window used as a makeshift balcony door, all were in agreement. This could just work. The final day before the festival would be used to prepare. They'd need to pool every resource at their disposal, pull every favor with a thread. Even enlist some unsavory characters around town with important tasks only they were suited for. Luckily, there was enough ill will and mistrust toward Perennial Harvest that alliances could be found at a bargain. Luca, Beck, and Rollo rubbed their eyes as they exited the treehouse. They hadn't slept at all that night. There was no time. The festival was to begin in one day, and they each had their assignments.
Just out of curiosity, you need to check the tree again. I assume that each of those treetops are the end paths, so we need to keep going up in order to finish off things. Alright, quick recap. Rollo, you're gonna talk to Roxy. Cordially. Without her and Fitz, this whole thing could go bust. Me? Cordial is my middle name. Uh-huh. And how do you plan to explain your new...
He waved vaguely at Rollo's sizable figure.
Circumstance? She'll be so happy I'm alive, she won't even notice.
Beck snorted an involuntary giggle.
And Beck, you're sure Ilona won't just shoot this whole thing down when she hears it? She'll listen. Once she understands the danger Nelly is in, the danger we're all in, the plan will make sense. Okay, that leaves me with Geoff, then Iggy. How are you gonna persuade them? I'll think of something.
They each looked at each other with sleepy confidence and nodded.
Well, Godspeed. Question is, where's Gran in all this? Look around. I don't think he'll be here. But seriously, where's Gran? What am I saying? It's my mom, but he doesn't know that in this timeline. Undaunted, he shook his head. Over? No. Endings are merely a state of mind. This doesn't end until I give up. Wow. I admire the conviction. But can he really pull through? Okay, where are you guys? Why an agricultural company employs an army of survey takers? The clipboards, they say they're just trying to make us happy. Do they want to make us happy? Or just figure out what makes us happy? An important distinction. There you are. Hey, Geoff. What can I do for you? Well, I know how much you hate Perennial Harvest. Hate's a strong word. Oh, sorry, I mean, I didn't say it was the wrong word. Gotcha. So we're gonna break into their headquarters, and I thought you might be able to help.
Geoff wheezed out a long snicker.
You see, I knew you kids were alright. Great, so you'll help?
The joy in Geoff's face drained instantly.
Not a chance. But give me one good reason I should risk my hide aiding and abetting you rascals.
Looking into the sullen eyes of his would-be accomplice, Luca blurted out the first word that came to mind.
Oh no, I have to pick? What? Jump! Yeah, whatever. Sorry, I got... Okay.
Luca wasn't ready to give up. He shouted out again.
Okay, it'll let me pick. Shit! Yeah, it's all shit. Iced it? Yeah, they're all gross. Like cockroaches. Stay loud and another comes skirting around to take its place.
Geoff's brow perked up.
What you say? Go ahead and hide then.
Sensing some traction, Luca carried on with vigor.
Let a bunch of kids do what needs to be done. We're not afraid.
Geoff's scowl faded with a sigh.
There you want to wit about old Geoff and they all do. But you'll never hail and say I hit from nothing.
One good stomp of the foot was all Geoff needed to drive his point home.
What was it you kids needed? Some sort of disguise. I've got just the thing. And while we're at it, just that crate should come in handy. This ain't gonna be free, you know. I'm thinking 5 bags of sour gum should cover it. Put it on my tab.
Luca offered out his open hand to seal the deal. With a firm and dusty grip, Geoff reciprocated.
Done. Swing by first thing in the morning. We're making progress. There you are. Hey Tish, look who it is. Are you here to try to tickle us to death again? Look, just hear me out.
Iggy raised an eyebrow suspiciously.
We're listening. Iggy, I know we've both had... Iggy, I know we've both been giant bags of... shit to each other.
Iggy gave a reluctant shrug.
You're not wrong. But lately, life has been kinda... strange, you know?
Iggy considered the point.
Things have been weird around here. So I'm offering a truce, and asking for your help. What do you say we break our hostilities, at least for now? We do like breaking things, even if a truce means less breaking things. What if I told you there was a way to have a truce and break stuff? Go on. I need you to cause a distraction so I can sneak into Perennial Harvest HQ.
A wild-eyed grin spread across Iggy's face.
My, look at Van Horn. I'm impressed. And after this is all done, maybe you and Tish can come hang it up at the treehouse sometime?
Iggy glanced over to Tish, who nodded in agreement.
Have you been reading our book, Luca? Fine. But not because we want to see your crappy treehouse. We just like to cause chaos.
With a quick nod, Luca was off.
Did you hear that, Tish?
Iggy gazed up at Tish with a smile.
He invited us to hang out at the treehouse.
A single tear ran down Tish's cheek.
I never expected this day to come. How wonderful. Aww.
Chapter 7. Into the Hive. A good heist requires preparation. And thorough preparation takes time, something they had precious little of. So far, everything was in order. Geoff, Iggy, and Tish all agreed to do their part. Beck radioed Luca that night with a simple and covert message. "We are locked and loaded on my end. And Rollo, after a lengthy confession, managed to persuade Roxy and Fitz to help. He stowed away in mission control for the night to avoid attracting attention. Rollo, being uniquely suited for the role, would be the first to breach Perennial Harvest. The outfit provided by Geoff wasn't perfect, but a convincing disguise is 10% wardrobe, 90% confidence. Rollo took a few vigorous breaths and shook out his arms.
Just stay calm, Rollo. You can do this. Got your delivery here. Delivery? I don't have anything in my notes about a delivery. One moment. I'm so sorry, but there's no delivery scheduled for this morning. Right.
He had to think quick.
That's because this goes directly to the founder. He asked that it be kept secret.
Rollo sighed, adjusting his tool belt.
You know how the founder can be. I suppose we can leave this one off the records. Our harvest awaits and such.
With a stroke of his mustache, Rollo proceeded into the Perennial Harvest headquarters.
Our harvest awaits. Package here for the founder. Oh, I didn't hear anything about... Yeah, this is a need-to-know kind of thing. I'll just check.
He stammered and flipped through the pages of his clipboard.
This goes directly to the founder. I don't have time to fill you in. Oh, I see. If you could just complete this form...
Rollo interrupted with urgency in his voice.
Every time with the forms. Look, if you want to explain to the founder why I'm late... Well, it's your funeral. I'm sorry. What did you say your name was again?
Rollo panicked.
Our harvest awaits! Sir? That's a restricted area. Excuse me, sir. Our harvest awaits! Ready to light this candle, Tish? Yup. Suck on this, Perennial Hand Fist. What was that?
The distraction was enough for Rollo to regain his confidence.
Just open the damn door. I've got a job to do.
The clipboard fumbled around in a frenzy.
I should check on that noise. Oh, come on! Just buzz me in already. Okay. Ha. By the way, where did you get the fireworks? Phew, that was close. Our harvest awaits? Hey, I figure, when in doubt, stick with the classics. Well, that was a close one. But you pulled it off. Nice work, Rollo. Alright, everyone knows what to do? Yep, deep engineering is to the north. I'll go with back. In case she needs some muscle. I'll head east to the founder's office. You two be safe. Perennial Harp. Oh. That's odd. There's not even any cups for the water. What a maze, isn't it? Solomon?
Solomon stopped in his tracks.
Luca? What are you doing here? It's a long story. Are you okay?
A veneer of confusion flashed across Solomon's face. His words rushed out dramatically.
No, I am most certainly not okay. Some strange people grabbed me and... Were they in hazmat suits? Yes, how did you know? Because we saw them in another timeline. And they brought me here and locked me up, and when they were distracted, I ran. Bang. Okay, you should stick with me. We've got a plan.
Solomon's facade briefly faltered.
We? Yeah, Rollo and Beck are headed to Deep Engineering. Thank heavens you found me. We got to get out of here. We can't leave just yet. But they'll catch us again. I've got to do something first. When you were running, did you happen to see a door marked Founder? Founder? Why are you looking for him? I'm not. I just need to get into that office. Now that you mention it, I do think I saw a door that said Founder. It was just down this way.
Luca happened to notice a plaque above the door.
Office of the Founder. Knocking comes with consequence. Oh, here it is. So it is. It's pretty lucky that I ran into you, or else I might have missed it. Truly fortunate.
Luca tried the handle.
Locked.
Solomon leaned forward to examine the mechanism.
Regrettably, it seems to be some sort of electric lock. I don't see how we could possibly defeat a lock like that.
Luca smiled and looked at his watch.
Let's just wait a minute. Oops. I don't know what sort of funny business you're up to. But I like it.
She mimed a quick hat tip and ambled off with a whistle.
Howdy. Good afternoon.
The light on the keypad changed from red to green.
How did you do that? It's good to have friends. Quick, let's get inside before someone spots us.
Luca switched on his walkie-talkie.
Rollo, I'm in. As expected, there's a control panel. Great timing. We're stuck at a locked door marked 24601. Need you to get us through. What if someone catches us? We should get out of here. I'm not leaving my friend, Solomon.
On the computer screen, a green cursor blinked in a password field.
Surely you don't have a way to get around the password.
Luca pecked out his best guess. Underground secrets.
How are you aware of the other timelines? Or is
The
this from
screen
dreams?
blinked to life. Columns of green numbers glowed on a black background.
How did you just guess that? Oh, it's this absurd password Rollo heard when he was down here before. Oh! Okay, so things were explained to him. Some things make sense now. It's funny how someone arrogant enough to call themselves the Founder uses such a basic password. Or they were thinking several moves ahead, not expecting anyone to guess something so simple. These villain types always end up outsmarting themselves.
Solomon's jaw clenched into a half smile.
Your powers of deduction are as impressive as your luck.
Luca quickly scanned the columns for number 24601.
Rollo, I think this should do it. Bingo bongo, doors open. Luca, you never fail to impress. What is that slippery lout even doing down here? We have a friend whose mom is in trouble. We're here to get her out. I see. Okay, Luca, I think we're close. The next door is marked 13806.
Once again, Luca scrutinized the numbers on the screen. In that moment of distraction, Solomon reached forward and pressed a large red button.
Maybe this one opens the lock. Why did you do that? Oh, wait, no. That's a stupid... Crap, we got company! Luca, let's go faster! One sec, I can't think with all this noise.
He quickly skimmed the screen with his finger.
Here it is, 13806. Go, go, go! What's these fumbling hands? My apologies, Luca. How have you not figured out he's help? Don't beat yourself up. I know you were just trying to help. Okay, now you're just heading into my direction. Oh man, no water cups. Rollo! Rollo, are you okay? Rollo, come in!
Mr. Kerr approached with a sneer and spoke into his walkie-talkie.
You can turn off the alarms, they're trapped.
With self-satisfaction, he called into the hallway.
That, my dears, is a dead end. Nowhere to run. Rollo, where are you? Are you okay? Yeah, I think we lost him. Making our way back to Nelly's office. Okay, you two rabble-rousers are coming with us. Nope. Make a break for it. Ow, my groin. Did that little shit just kick me? Don't just stand there. After them. Okay, I think that worked. Roxy and Fitz have them on a wild goose chase. I'm having trouble following what just happened. Like I said, it's good to have friends. Rollo, how long do you think Roxy can distract them? How long can Roxy keep someone so pissed off they can't see straight? Let's just say we've got time. Entering Nelly's office now. Mom! Oh, honey, what did you do to your hair? I thought you'd be happy. I finally used the young chemist's lab kit. You sure have a knack for making me incredibly proud in the most frustrating ways. We need to get you out of here. We? Who's your adult friend? Oh, I'm not an adult. Ever heard of a growth spurt? I had more of a growth spew. No, that's not possible.
Nelly leaned over to examine his teeth.
Substantial banding on the enamel of the molars, consistent with Tempest liquamine exposure. Is that what you call the gunk they forced me to drink? You drank it? Oh no. They told me it was only being tested on plants. Oh, Beck, sweetie, I promise I didn't know. Mom, what the hell is going on at this place? I was brought here to work on the discovery of a lifetime. A novel chemical compound was discovered under Beacon Pines in a wellspring they called the Source. They named it Tempest liquamine. It pulls energy from its surroundings in order to fundamentally alter matter's relationship to time. It was a secret to Valentine's fertilizer. They harvested the source, infusing small amounts of Tempest liquamine into the product. It worked wonders, drastically accelerating plant growth. Crops would be ready to harvest in a fraction of the time. But it led to complications. The foul harvest. Perennial harvest came in to clean up the mess, to succeed where Valentine failed. But Tempest liquamine is rebellious. Rebellious? You can think of it as a manifestation of change itself. It's volatile by its very nature. So the more you try to force it to do a specific thing, the more it resists. Yes, I can relate to that. My role was to finish the work of my predecessor, Dr. Prescott, harnessing Tempest liquamine to reliably manipulate an organism's age. Just imagine how many people we could feed. Mr. Kerr was very insistent that we achieve a successful result before today's festival. But you didn't, right?
Nelly sighed.
You know how much I love a good puzzle. I poured myself into the problem. It wasn't long until I discovered oddities in Mr. Prescott's notes. Oddities? They contained obvious errors, mistakes that someone of his reputation would never make. So I fixed them and now I get to replace my entire wardrobe. I really am truly sorry. Meh, those clothes were all hand-me-downs anyway. It sounds like Dr. Prescott figured it out, got cold feet, and intentionally sabotaged his own work. I had considered that possibility. I sent a letter asking him to clarify his thinking. Dr. Prescott is dead. Kerr had him killed. What? I overheard them talking about it on the radio. It's why we gotta get you out of here. I just... like, now. Wait, the vial! I finally solved the chemical equation, allowing direct control of aging. Mr. Kerr picked it up just before you came. All the more reason we gotta hightail it. Luca, we've got Dr. Modwell. We're heading your way now. Roger that. Be careful. Alright, everything's on track. And what is your plan for your escape? We'll go over everything when they get here. In the meantime, maybe we can dig up some more info. It looks like the founder was helping Curd plan the festival. Why would such a secretive leader be obsessed with a party? Only time will tell.
Luca held his hand up to the ashtray.
Still warm. He must have been in here recently. He uses books. Dude, figure it out! Malice 80 proof whiskey. A hard drink for a hard... Found that in the lake! Wow, even his alcohol is arrogant.
Solomon muttered inaudibly.
I should just smother you right now. What's that? I said I shouldn't bother you right now. Don't be silly, you're no bother at all. Let's see what else this bad boy has on it. Security system, time card logs, payroll. You know, for being so evil, this guy sure is boring.
Solomon once again muttered under his breath.
Just you wait. Huh? Oh, nothing. Yeah, at this point we already know who he really is.
Luca tugged on each of the cabinets.
But for the sake of this timeline, he has to remain ignorant. Dang, this must be the good stuff. They're all locked. Perhaps he's not as careless as you suspected. Okay, guess it's time to talk to you. I'm really sorry you got dragged into this, Solomon. You needn't worry about me. Well, I feel bad either way. We're gonna get you out of this, I promise.
With a subtle, quivering lip, a smile crawled across Solomon's face. They heard the trampling of frantic footsteps from the hallway.
Hi, guys. Lock it, lock it, lock it! Locked. That was close. When we left Nelly's office, it was swarming with clipboards. We barely got away. Did they follow you? Rollo. Before we start tossing blame around, is it possible someone ordered a pizza? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Definitely not pizza. What now? Don't look at me. I'm officially retiring from the heisting business. We're so sorry for the inconvenience. We just have a few quick questions. Just let me think. Can someone watch the door? Of course. Everyone else, huddle up. Oops. Da-da-da-da. I think this little caper has gone on long enough. Solomon, no! Hush now, child. The adults are speaking. Dr. Modwell, a brief reintroduction is in order. We've never met in person, but we have corresponded. You see, it was I who hired you. Solomon, the pathetic orphan child, the powerful and enigmatic founder, Sharper, the fallen who created this town. Perennial harvest, Valentine fertilizer, all connected by a single thread. Yours truly. But that's...
Her eyes searched the floor in thought. Solomon watched eagerly, waiting for the flicker of epiphany. With a sickened look, she peered into his soul.
Yes, now you've got it. It's got this look of mine. You discovered how to reverse the process.
Solomon clapped with genuine delight.
Very good, Dr. Modwell. Very good. Though the discovery wasn't the intention.
Solomon glanced down, examining his youthful form.
And the effects went a little too far for my tastes. That's why you needed me to finish Dr. Prescott's work, which you did admirably. Mr. Kerr, the vial, please.
Kerr presented it with a theatrical twirl of the hand.
wonder of the...
Before he could finish, Rollo snatched the vial from Kerr's palm.
Wow, this stuff sounds pretty valuable. Be careful, you fool. You have no idea what you have in your hand. Actually, we do. You just did a whole evil villain monologue thinking about it.
Rollo casually tossed the vial to Luca.
Gosh, maybe I'll have a taste.
Luca jiggled the vial mockingly.
Seize him! Luca! Over here! Patty cake. Move another inch and I smash it.
She held it tightly behind her back. Solomon sighed, speaking in crisp, measured syllables.
You have no plan. I'll smash it, I swear. Fine, risk killing us all. Or if you're lucky, nothing happens. Then what? We capture you and grant you much less leniency.
He pursed his lips with feigned sincerity.
But I give you my word, if you hand it over now, none of you will be harmed.
A deep uncertainty washed over Beck.
You're a smart girl, Beck. But there's no shame in being outwitted by someone smarter than you. We both know there is only one way this ends.
She looked to Nelly shakily. With a dispirited nod, Nelly sighed in defeat. Beck slowly approached Solomon.
That's a good girl. Beck, don't do it. We can't trust that jerk. I'm sorry, he's right.
With apprehension, Beck conceded. Solomon pocketed the vial and brushed off his shoulder with a sharp flick.
Mr. Kerr, you have allowed yourself to be humiliated by a group of children. Report to my office tomorrow for a performance review.
The blood drained from Kerr's face.
Of course, sir. But first, you have a speech to make. Trot out there and give me the introduction I deserve. And don't forget to smile. Yes, sir. And to think, all of this is thanks to the efforts of Mr. Van Horn. I don't understand. How is this all because of me? I see, I said Mr. Van Horn, silly child. Dr. Walt Van Horn. Your father was always a thorn in my side. I offered him an opportunity to be part of something great, but the fool was blinded by righteousness. He even broke into my laboratory in an attempt to sabotage my work.
Solomon shook his head with gratification.
But the universe has a funny way of correcting course. By meddling with a force he didn't understand, Walt showed me its true potential. As fate would have it, Luca, your father's dying act was to grant me eternal life.
A muffled applause resonated faintly through the walls.
Well, that's my cue. After the festivities and my subsequent ascension, I will return to deal with you all. Until then, I suggest you use this time to reflect on the magnitude of your failure. You three keep post outside the door. Well, crap. I can't believe Beck sold us out like that. I'm not sure she had any other choice. So what now? What's the plan? I don't have one. Of course you do. You always have a plan. Rollo, you just need some time. Rollo, it's over. We lost.
Nelly was staring at the floor, deep in thought.
Sorry, Luca. Give me a minute to calm my mind. Hey, I'm sorry, Luca. I did what I had to. I know, it's just, we were so close. I've got a feeling that, eventually, Solomon will get what's coming to him. Time wounds all heals. Well, time seems like less of an issue for him now. Luca, there's something you should know. After Mr. Kerr locked me in that office, I had nothing but time and curiosity. I poked around a bit, hoping to find a means of escape, but I found something else. A note, hidden in a false drawer. What sort of note? Dr. Prescott must have sensed his time at Perennial Harvest was growing short. So he left behind a letter, with the hope it would be found by his successor. It was a confession of sorts. He left it for me, but its contents? Luca, I think they were meant for you. Why? What did it say? It was about an incident with your mother. Dr. Prescott found her in his lab with a stolen key card. There was an accident. She had been exposed to extreme amounts of Tempest liquamine.
The color dropped from Luca's face.
She survived. Dr. Prescott decided to help her recover. He no longer trusted Perennial Harvest, so he kept her whereabouts a secret. Over time, your mother led him to reconsider the purpose of scientific discovery. Science is often at the vanguard of change, but that doesn't mean it's always right. He realized that no one should have control over something as powerful as time itself. I now believe that's why he began to intentionally sabotage his own work. And it cost him his life. That's a reasonable conclusion.
Luca was overwhelmed with emotion.
But if she's alive, where has she been? Where is she now?
A sudden explosion sounded from the hull. Chapter 8. Comeuppance. Ears still ringing, Gran picked herself up off the ground. Through the dust and smoke, she looked over to see Mrs. Fratelli helping Hiram Tolliver to his feet. She'd had to beg, borrow, and steal to acquire those explosives. How many nights had she spent visualizing how she'd use them to make things right? And now, her one shot at destroying the source, that damned hole that swallowed so much of her life, was gone. Traded for this jagged hole in a wall and a foolhardy shot at rescuing Rollo. With Fratelli and Tolliver at her side, she stepped through. It was a strange feeling. The last time she'd stalked this maze of hallways, it was in a different body. They quickly rounded a corner to find a group of clipboards guarding a door. Something worth guarding is probably something worth seeing. She leapt forward, brandishing her cane. If her last chance at vengeance for things lost was truly gone, she would just have to fight to keep what she still had.
Hey! Gran, what are you doing here? Luca, what are you doing here? We're here to save Nelly. We're here to save Rollo. Hey, Mrs. Luca's Gran. That's awful nice of you. But I'm fine. Oh no, what did they... Gran, there's no time to explain. We have to go now. Come on everyone, we've got a party to crash.
They made their way out from deep within Perennial Harvest, just as Solomon finished up his speech.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket.
We gotta stop him!
In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
No! Well, I guess that's it. We lost. I wouldn't be so sure about that.
With a mischievous look, Beck elbowed Luca. Remember when I had the vial behind my back? I might have tweaked his wonder potion with a little change.
Like pocket change? You're unlucky penny. Yeah, I plopped it in the vial when no one was looking. What's that gonna do? No idea. That's the beauty of science. Now, we observe. You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Holy crap! He's a baby? Yeah, but he's still Sharper, right? What he was no longer matters. This is an innocent child. I apologize for all the harm my father has caused you.
Eris awkwardly cradled the squirming child. She looked to her brother, her voice shaking with uncertainty.
Augustus, what we do what Valentines always do. What must be done. I'll hurry home and prepare a crib for father, or young Sharper. That would be a great help. Thank you.
She looked back down at the infant with equal parts kindness and terror in her eyes. With a shake of her head, Eris addressed the crowd with a stern scowl.
Okay, everyone. The show is over. You may leave now.
Epilogue. Beacon Pine's coldest summer on record came and went without much fanfare. Folks shared what they had, and none were left wanting. The new school year was ushered in by the falling leaves of autumn. After everything Luca, Rollo, and Beck had been through, middle school was bearable. The chill of winter didn't seem to bother people much. They kindled a hope for a better future in their hearts. When spring arrived, farmers planted their crops with a sense of joy and optimism. And as the dawn of the first day of summer came again, its light slowly spread through the shallow valley. It crept over the town square, across the river, past the neglected welcome sign, and came to rest on a young boy sleeping at dawn, his mind at peace, knowing he is here for a reason. Over time, Eleanor began moving Walt's old things out of the closet and into storage. Eleanor had moved back into her bedroom, and now that she wasn't sneaking out late, she even slept there most nights.
Mom, I'm ready to go now. You go on without me. I'll meet you here. I'll meet you there. I've got a bunch of jam to finish jarring. It's funny. I only started making jam as a way to send messages without anyone noticing. And now, I enjoy it. Alright, I'll go say hi to Rollo first. I hear you and Rollo have big plans for that little treehouse. Yeah, it started getting crowded after we revoked the max capacity, one Rollo, one Luca rule. So we decided to expand. But at least we got some help with that. How's the internship at Nelly and Leona's shop? I need to finish. It's been great. I'm hoping it helps me get into the School of Agriculture up at State. Also, Nelly said she'd write a letter of recommendation, which would be huge. I just can't help but worry about leaving Rollo. He's grown up so fast, but he's still my little brother. Yeah, he had a heck of a growth spurt. I don't just mean grown, literally. This morning he was up and finished his chores before I even had breakfast. Well, some of that might be his excitement about the treehouse renovations. Don't tell him this, and it'll go to his head, but I'm really proud of that little punk. I'm sure he feels the same way, but he's just too dang proud to tell you. I know. Hey Gus, how's the tree planting going? Couldn't be better. I'm so grateful to Yolanda and Nelly for letting me go. I just wasn't built to be a bear. Too much bureaucracy. Gus, we finished cleaning the sidewalks. What's next?
When Perennial Harvest collapsed, most of the clipboards skipped town. But some stuck around and dedicated themselves to making things right.
Anyone with a knack for art can help paint the new offices. You can count on us. Well, it looks like you really found your calling. I never really felt comfortable telling people what to do. Now, this right here, this is something I can be proud of. Good for you. little higher. Yep. A little lower. Yep. Little higher. Yep. I'm telling you, the angle isn't the issue. We need more power to the radio. Luca, there you are. Would you tell him it's not the angle? Hey, I'm not in charge of antenna redesign. Fine, fine. Iggy, just don't do anything drastic until we get back. Who, me? Tish, you're in charge while I'm gone. Yep. They'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. If we really want mission control to turn into something bigger and better, we have to loosen our grip a bit. You're right. Lead the way. Should I talk to you? Now, let's talk to the people who we know have portraits. The people who matter, like you two. I see you decided on a name. Yep, you had to clear out all the old stuff before putting on the final touch. Slow and Dirty Harvest is now official. I like it. It was actually Nelly's idea. There's still a lot of work to do, and the name serves as a reminder. Just because progress is important doesn't mean change should happen fast. In fact, I've learned that the more you care about something, the more important it is to take things slow. Our motto is, go slow and fix things. Amen to that! Young Mr. Van Horn. How's little Solomon, Sharper doing? Young Shopper seems to enjoy nature more than I do. We do a lot of strolling these days. Has he, attempted to crawl out of his crib and plot world domination? Yeah. Thankfully, no. I spoke at length with Dr. Goldwell, and she feels that Sharper's infant mind has not developed enough to retain his previous memories. For all intents and purposes, the child is unmolded clay. So let's hope he's a little nicer the second time around. That is the objective, yes. But really, all I can do is try and hope. Two activities I am endeavoring to find less distasteful. Well, I think you're doing a great job. And the whole town is ready to help out however we can. I can't wait to teach him to throw a baseball.
Eris did her best to ignore the tears welling in her eyes.
That would be acceptable. I'm glad you swung by. More follow-up questions for your story? Nope, I got everything I need. Thanks again for that. I sent a draft of the story to a reporter in Capital City. They offered me an internship. Of course they did. You're an amazing reporter. I don't know all about all that. A story about a phony corporation that picked up an entire town of people and moved them to cover up a massive illegal mine shaft full of incredibly hazardous chemicals? Sort of writes itself if you think about it. Just don't forget us when you become a fancy big city reporter. Capital City isn't that far away. I'm gonna have to come back from time to time to check in. You see what sort of new trouble you've gotten yourself into. Sorry to disappoint, but my adventuring days are over. We both know that's not true. What makes you say that? Call it a reporter's intuition.
Mrs. Fratelli glowed with a carefree smile.
Is that your suitcase? That is 2 weeks of unencumbered tranquility. Excuse me? Would you be so kind as to take my order? 2 weeks of sand, margaritas, and forgotten obligations. Excuse me? I'd love to place an order.
Mrs. Fratelli sighed with a zen-like calm.
Just as soon as the lunch rush ends, I'll be a feather on the wind. So you're going on vacation? For the first time in years, I've got you and your mom to thank. It's fine. I'll wait. Hey Luca, can you tell Roxy I'll be free in an hour? Sure thing. My dad's making me stock the shelves for the summer. He said it builds character. I think he meant to say it builds calluses. Builds character? Yeah, it builds something alright. Luca, can I interest you in a delicious apple?
He playfully waggled an apple.
No thanks, just saying hello. Well, hello then. Mind telling your mom we need a new crate of jam? Already? It's funny, I used to hide this stuff in the back, terrified that someone would find out about our secret messages. Now everyone wants to get their hands on Eleanor Van Horn's famous spy jam. This whole time I could have tried to give him the Flanders voice. I should have given him the Flanders voice. Hey, Mr. Nuncreed. I'm gonna go see my dad in a bit. Did you want to come with? Hey, even after everything I did, you still...
Mr. Nuncreed shook his head.
You really are your father's son, aren't you? I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Well, you're always invited. I bet he'd love to hear from you. I'll visit Walt in my own time. You run along now. Everything's got bigger.
With Perennial harvest gone, the transportation tubes were left unused.
Come on. No one's too big, no one is too small. Forget Royal Ride.
Well, maybe not completely unused.
Just one piece of candy. For the ride of your life. Who's next? Me. I have news I think you'll enjoy. This morning, I unpacked my last box. You're officially moved in. It's just a box. Let's not blow this out of proportion. It sounds an awful lot like putting down roots. I guess I decided this place is root-worthy. You're gonna be stuck with me for the foreseeable future. I do have to warn you, most years aren't gonna be as interesting as this one. I think I'll manage. Ready? Before we go, there's a bit of a surprise. My mom's prepared this tree especially for you. They didn't have to do that. It wasn't just them. Just about the whole town pitched in. We all owe you. It should be okay in the cold of Old Beacon Pines. And thrive as things warm up. That's perfect. So somehow they would all learn about the stuff that happened that we experienced differently in the timelines. You got it. Now that's a good looking tree. If we're being a special occasion and whatnot, this ride's on the house. You're gonna want to hang on tight to that little tree.
I think this is it. The end I've been waiting for. Honestly, I'd begun to lose hope of ever finding it. But then you came along. I don't know exactly how to thank you. It's hard to explain how much this means to me. It's funny, now that our time together is finally ending. I'm at a loss for words. Let's just watch the end together.
Done. A good little tree. The best little tree. for everything. Shucks, I only did what any super awesome best buddy would have done. We should probably give you some time alone now. You good? Yeah, I am. It's been a wild year. How are you feeling? Everyone keeps asking me that. I'm fine, really. Pa always says the only thing fitter than a fiddle is a cello. I feel like a dang cello. Well, if you ever stop feeling like a cello, I'm here for you. I know, you don't even have to say it. You two make an awesome pair. Excuse me? We're a trio now. Yep. Thanks. There's just one thing missing now that you're part of our group. Missing? Let me tell you a little story about a man named Hank Atomic. Oh god. I won't be long. We'll be waiting for you back at the phone booth. I found the perfect way to start our summer. You've got some good friends. I'm so proud of you. Your father would be so proud. I know. Can I ask you a question? Do you ever dream about Dad? Not a night goes by that I don't. Are you ever afraid that you're gonna forget him? Forget what he looked like? Forget his voice? No, because so much of him lives on in you. He loved that old tree, but I know he would have loved this one more. Because his two favorite people planted it. I'll give you two a moment. Hey, Dad. Dr. Modwell says that over the next few years, this place should warm up. So you won't have to be so cold for much longer. I think I finally understand why you left that night. There were things you believed in. Big things. Those beliefs were the things that made you, you. If you wouldn't have stood up to Sharper, stood up for what he believed in, you wouldn't have been the same person anymore. You had to go. But that didn't mean you loved us any less. I might not visit you as much as I used to. I know you understand. Well, this was certainly a game. We learned a lot, we saw a lot of tragedy. Lots of people froze over on different occasions. But we finally found the good ending. So I know in one of the other choices for what happens to Sharper, I think he just dies straight up into a cloud of smoke. I saw that at least, but I don't know what the third one is. So, seeing him get turned into an infant is rather fitting. He wanted to live forever, well now he's got to pay. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But at the very least, we're done. And just in time too, considering I'll be going on break next week. Back, I'll at least play a different game. No, when I do come back, I'll either do some more multiplayer stuff, or we'll see. Let's see if I'm in here. Oh wait, these are the producers. I'm probably further down somewhere. Backers, here we go. Nope. Honestly, I didn't think it was that loud. How's this? So when I was testing it the other day, it didn't seem like it was that loud. I suppose I'll have to fiddle more with it next time, in a couple weeks. There I am. We did. It was Joseph Grabinski. He was in the third column. I'll be making this and the previous stay public soon. But for now, there's really not much left. I'll let the credits play and I'll end it there. So if you want to stick around to see how the rest goes, feel free. Otherwise, I think Retrovision's there twice. Huh. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I'm going to mute myself in a sec. Thank you for coming. I will see you in a couple weeks.